Good afternoon, good evening, and I don't know where you're going to be and when are you going to see this nice interview. I have here the pleasure of inviting Tony Rodrigues. How are you doing? I'm so glad you are here.
I'm happy to be here. Un placer.
Remember, I remember that when we were last year starting COVID and you gave us a nice talk, remember?
Yep, I do remember indeed.
So, how have you been? What's going on in your life?
Well, life has been good. Obviously, 2020 was a challenging year around the world, right? Not just for me.
Yeah.
Um, so I've unfortunately I lost a few friends to and distant family members to COVID. So that was a tough thing. My wife's a nurse, so she's around this constantly. She's working tonight, actually. That's why I'm at my son's fencing academy, picking him up from fencing because she's actually working tonight. Um, so it's challenging because of that. She's on the front lines of it, and we're in New Jersey, so there's a tremendous amount of cases in New Jersey, New York. Not as many now as there were before, um, but outside of that, everything's been good. Business is still going okay. You have to pivot, because we all have the power to pivot. And we have to pivot when things aren't working, when something isn't going as planned. You do one of two things. You can stop and dig yourself into a hole, which inevitably you'll get covered over and it'll be harder for you to get out of because now you're in a deeper hole. Or you can pivot and change and do something different because it's never a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. If something isn't working this way, figure out a different way. If you owned the restaurant and you didn't pivot to delivery, you didn't pivot to a short menu, you didn't pivot to outdoor dining, you're out of business, right?
Yeah.
If you were a bit in business and you didn't pivot to start doing Zoom meetings and things in a different way, then you're out of business. So we all have to think of different ways to be able to do business and live life in the world that we're in now. Hopefully things will get to some kind of normalcy in the next couple months. I certainly believe it will. But until then, we have the power to decide whether we're going to just stay and live in fear and doubt and anxiety, or we're going to look beyond that and create something new and look at the positive, look at the fact that, hey, things are bad, but I still have my health. I'm still here. I still have the power to help somebody else, right? So as bad as things are, our mutual friend and mentor Tony Robbins says, you know, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you focus on the bad, you're going to get more bad. If you focus on the good, you're going to get more good. And the bad things in life are always available. You can look to your left or right, whatever, like, and you see 7 or 8, 9, 10 bad things happening in your life, in your country, in your world, in your business. And you can look at all those bad things. You only have one good thing in your life, all by itself on that side, all by itself, lonely. But you can choose where your focus goes. You can choose to focus on the nightmare. You can choose to focus on the dream. You can choose to focus on the beauty, on the fact that you have, your health, that you have your family, whatever beautiful thing that is still left in your life. You can choose to focus on that as opposed to focusing on the negative. So it's a choice. Happiness, my friends, is a choice that we all have to make because it's an inside job. It comes from inside, not from outside. So I
How
choose to be happy.
and how can we start doing that? Because it's like New Year resolutions, right? You start with hopes and expectations, and after a week, it goes away. So what
Well,
do we
you
have
know,
to do?
a friend of mine, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day. He says, you know what, I really hate the word resolution. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, you're right. Resolutions kind of suck because most people fail at them anyway. What you should do is you should set goals. You should set outcomes and don't say, oh, I'm not, I'm going to start going to the gym every single day. Well, if you don't go to the gym once a month, it's not sustainable. You're not going to go every single day. Maybe you say, I'm going to go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe you say, I'm going to drink a bottle of water every morning and take a walk. Start small because most people overcommit, right? They overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 10. So they think that, oh, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to do this huge, big thing. They're going to try to eat the elephant in one bite. And we all, How do we eat how do you eat excuse me. How is it that you eat an elephant? What's the answer?
Piece by piece.
That's right. One bite at a time. Because you try to take the whole thing, you're gonna choke. And
Right.
so many times people make these huge commitments. I'm gonna lose 50 pounds, this year. Okay, good. And you can. But how are you gonna do it? You can't just say I'm gonna lose 50 pounds and think you're gonna lose 50 pounds. You gotta say I'm gonna lose 50 pounds by December 1st of 2021. Okay, what do I have to do to lose 50 pounds? Well, that's 11 months. If I divide 50 by 11, that's whatever, roughly 5 pounds a month. Okay, 5 pounds a month. How much do I have to lose a week? I have to lose 1.25 pounds a week. That's not bad. If you bring it down to bite-sized chunks, anybody can lose a pound a week. Anybody can lose a pound a week. Hell, you skip one meal and you lose a pound, right? So by making things reasonable, by setting proper goals and not just these huge goals without a plan, you can achieve your goals, you can achieve your outcomes, and you got to make sure you celebrate yourself along the way. Otherwise, it's not achievable. It is, but if you don't have a plan, you're not going to get there, and you're going to be a statistic like everyone else. You're going to have a New Year's resolution that I'm not going to eat any more cakes, and by January 10th, you're putting 2 donuts in your mouth.
And do you think it's important to have like a peer group where you can get support?
Absolutely. Listen, peer group and having someone, an accountability buddy, somebody that's going to hold you accountable. The best thing to do isn't to start talking to people that aren't on a diet. Hey, I want you to hold me accountable, but they're still eating and having the habits. It's like saying, I want to stop drinking, but you're still hanging out with your friends at the bar. You're not going to stop drinking. It's not going to happen. You've got to start spending time with people that are living the life that you want to live, that are maybe on the same journey as you. Maybe they too are on the journey of fitness. Maybe they too are on the journey of drinking less, or whatever it is that your goal is, of starting a business, of increasing your business, whatever it is, having someone that is already living the life that you want to live, or at the very least, someone that's on the same journey as you. But more important than that, someone that's on the same journey as you, and someone that's already living the life that you want to live. And the peer group that you spend time with, that's the most important of all, right? Because we've heard it all before, growing up, we used to hear birds of a feather flock together. If you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. And I used to hear it in Portuguese as well. Deitas com um cão, apanhas piolhos. And the same thing. Te duermes con un perro y
Te llenas de pulgas.
tienes, I don't know what you call it, fleas.
Pulgas.
Tienes pulgas. And so it's the same as Portuguese. Tienes pulgas. Pero entonces estás pasando el tiempo con esa gente que están llenos de pulgas, te va a quedar con pulgas también, right? Pero si pasas el tiempo con personas que tienen los buenos hábitos que tú quieres tener, que tienen los sucesos que tú quieres, que está viviendo la vida que tú quieres, que tiene con una pareja como tú quieres también, ahí sí lo vas a poder alcanzar, pero si no te va a dar. So you have to align yourself with people that are living the life and that are already doing the things that you want to do, and have somebody that's going to hold you accountable. The other thing that I would encourage people to do, and this is painful, but this is important. What will be the cost if you do not do what you say you're going to do? Well, there's two costs. First, I would say there should be a financial cost of some sort. Maybe it's donate to the opposite political party that you hate, or that you're going to do something that's going to be painful to you, but that you're going to be able to do right now and feel the pain so that you can avoid it, because we'll do more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure. So the pain of loss, the pain of having to write a check to somebody you hate, to an organization that you hate. Let's say, you hate whatever. I'm not going to say hate, but something you dislike. Let's say that, I don't know what's going on in your country. So whatever opposite, something that you really disagree with, you're going to fund that. You're going to send $100 or $200 or $500 to that. And you'll do everything possible to avoid that happening. It doesn't matter what you've got to sacrifice, what you've got to give up, but there's no way you're going to do that. right? To avoid pain. That's number one. And the second part, and this is the real true cost of what happens if you don't fulfill those outcomes, if you don't do what you say. And I don't know, please stop me if I covered this the last time we had this conversation. I don't want to cover it again,
No, we
but I'm
did
going to talk
not.
about self-confidence and building self-confidence. Did we speak
No, we
about
didn't
that?
talk about that. No.
Okay, so I'm just going to speak about that really quickly. So majority of the time, let's say that I told you, by the way, am I going to call you Liz or am I going to call you Alcione?
Whatever
How
you
should I?
want. Alcyon if you want, Liz if you want.
Well, whatever. What? No, it's whatever you want, right?
Alcyon, it's okay.
Alcione, perfect. So if I told you, Alcione, yes, I'm going to be on your show tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I'll be there. I promise I'll be there. And then I don't show up and I don't call you. And you hear from me at 8:30. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Alcione. I had a flat tire. My dog died. Whatever. I'll be there tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Can we reschedule? Okay, fine, fine. 7 o'clock tomorrow, I don't call, I don't show up. I call you again. Oh, Alcione, I got pulled over by a policeman. I got locked up. I'm sorry, I didn't make it. But Saturday, I promise, Saturday, I'll be there at 7 o'clock. What do you think? What are you going to think about me?
I'm not going to trust you.
Are you going to believe me? Are you going to have any confidence in me?
No,
Are you going to have any belief in me anymore?
no. Because
Right,
it's like the more times you do so, you promise something and you don't do it, and you
right.
start
And it's
losing
terrible.
confidence.
Would you like that?
No,
Would any of you like that? Paola, would you like that? No, right? So it's important to keep our commitments and our promises to other people. It's really important to keep those commitments to ourselves, but to other people, because you want other people to trust you. You want to be able to have the life and be respected and everything else. Well, here's the thing. The most important commitment you need to keep is the commitment that you make to yourself. That is the most important commitment to keep because people don't understand what actually happens psychologically. When you say, I'm going to do this, and then you don't, well, it's bad enough when you miss your commitments with other people, it starts to affect you as well. But okay, whatever. But it's when you start missing the commitments to yourself. Say, tomorrow for the whole month, I'm going to go walk 3 miles a day, 3 kilometers a day. I'm going to go walk. And then you don't go. One day, oh, it's raining. The next day, oh, it's too sunny. The next day, oh, it's too humid. Oh, I couldn't find my shoes. And you don't do it over and over again. And by the way, we do this all the time. Oh, I promise I'm not going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to be kinder to myself. And none of this happens. What winds up happening when you miss one commitment to yourself and another and another and another? Here's what happens. Your subconscious, next time you say, oh no, I'm going to drink just nothing but water for the next month, your subconscious is going to say, mentirosa.
mm,
You're not going to do it. You're a liar. I don't trust you. So then what happens? Now your self-confidence goes to shit. You don't believe in yourself. Your self-esteem goes to hell because you, who's going to believe in you if you can't believe in yourself? And your self-worth goes to hell because you don't even understand why. You just know that you feel like crap. And you don't know why. You just know that you don't have self-confidence because nobody teaches us that that's what happens. But that's what happens. We start to lose confidence in ourselves. We start to lose love for ourselves. And then what happens when we start to lose love for ourselves? Well, then we can't really accept love from other people the same way because they're never going to be able to fill that hole that we feel in ourselves because we're not loving ourselves. And no amount of love from someone else could actually fill that. And you can't love somebody else. You can only love someone else as deeply as you love yourself. And you can only fill up in as much love as, again, as the depth that you've gone. So this is a very deep thing that winds up hurting people in a bad way, and people don't understand that. And there's not enough people out there talking about this, the importance of keeping your promises to other people, but even more important, keeping the promises to yourself. honoring those goals. So I encourage people, people set these lofty goals, and I tell people, I have someone that said, oh, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, there's one person just can't really do that. I want to believe in people, but one person can't physically do that in their lifetime. They just can't. And you have a team of 1,000 people, or at least 500 people, maybe you'll do it. By yourself, there's just no way of doing it. So you've got to be able to set goals that are attainable and reachable, and that you believe that you can meet, so that you can then set a plan and make those make those commitments and actually keep them. Now, all is not lost. If you've not kept your commitments to yourself, if you've not kept your commitments to others, and if you have, chances are, there's only six of us in here, and if not now, at some point, you didn't believe in yourself, you didn't love yourself. Someone in here didn't believe in themselves. Someone here didn't trust themselves, didn't love themselves, and didn't feel themselves worthy. At least one person in here, me,
Yeah.
me. And there's probably other people in here, and I don't want to call anybody out because I don't know you. I don't know you. I mean, I know you, but I don't know you ladies and Herman and whoever else is watching. But I'll say me, I've been there. And I sometimes miss those commitments to myself. But again, not to worry, all is not lost, because you can come back from that. You can rebuild your self-esteem. You can rebuild your self-confidence and that love for yourself. And that comes with, even if you don't make the big commitments, maybe some of you in here have already broken your New Year's resolutions. Maybe you've already broken your promises to yourself. And that's okay. You need to forgive yourself for that. First of all, I would say that the first thing you need to do is you need to do the forgiveness process of all the mistakes you've made in the past, and all the times that you've let yourself down and you've let other people down, so that you can start from a clean palette. Apologize wherever you can, make amends to whoever you've wronged and whatever wrong you've done. Forgive those who you can, ask for forgiveness of others, and clear that out with the Ho'oponopono. And I'm not going to get into all of that because I know we only have an hour, so that talk can last another half hour, so I don't want to do that. First, you clear that out, and then you make what I like to call micro commitments.
Mm-hmm.
Not huge commitments, micro commitments, little ones. You know what? In the morning when I wake up, I'm going to drink a glass of water every day. And you only make one micro commitment at a time. And you make that a ritual, because our rituals become our habits, and our habits become who we are, right? So you say, every day I'm going to drink a glass of water. And every day in the morning, you get up and you put a glass of water there at night. So you don't even have to worry about it. You wake up in the morning, you drink the glass of water. If you don't have it there, you go to the kitchen, the bathroom, you drink a glass of water, and just say, yes, I drank a glass of water. And you make it easy for you to fulfill that commitment. It's called a micro commitment. And then the next level could be, the other micro commitment you can make could be something as small as, I'm just going to take 5 deep breaths in the morning for my health. And that could be another micro commitment. Hell, we're already all breathing anyway. So just breathe a little deeper. And that could be another micro commitment that you do. And whether you start doing it this week or you add it next week. Maybe the other commitment is, every day you're going to be grateful for something. In the morning or at night, I'm going to say, there's going to be 3 things I'm going to say I'm grateful for. So you make these easy to meet commitments and micro commitments, and you keep them to yourself. And as you do it over and over again, you start to feel better about yourself. And yes, the water will make you feel better. Yes, breathing deep will make you feel better. But psychologically, what's really happening is you're building your self-confidence. You're building your self-love. You're building your self-esteem. And that's why you're feeling better. As much as the water helps, you're feeling better because you're honoring the commitments you're making to yourself. And I promise you, you do that and your life will start to change. Focus on what's good. Forgive wherever you can. Make amends wherever you've made mistakes. And start keeping those commitments to other people. And most importantly, start keeping commitments to yourself. But go easy on yourself at the same time. If you miss a day, don't say, que estúpido. Otra vez. You idiot. Why did you do it? And I knew it. You couldn't do it. No, just forgive yourself. Drink a bottle of water when you remember, and just move on and keep moving forward. Because whatever we're feeling, whatever depth of wherever we are right now, it didn't happen overnight. If you're looking and your goal is to lose 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, it's not going to happen overnight because you didn't put on the weight overnight. And if you did put on the weight overnight, here's the good news. You can lose it overnight, but you're not going to, that's not the way that it works. And by the way, just so everybody knows, this month, I am eliminating all processed sugar. So I don't even know what day today is, but today's day 7 of no sugar, which is difficult for me.
Oh, well, that's
I,
good.
I started waking up every day at 5 a.m. in the morning. So I'm up at 5 a.m. every morning and I'm out walking, whether it's cold, raining, snowing, ice, whatever. I'm out every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. So those are the two big things that I'm doing, among other things. I've made other commitments to myself, and I'm not going to go into all of them, but those are the two really difficult ones: is cut out all sugar for the month and get up at 5 a.m. every single morning, regardless of whether I go to bed at 11, 12, or 1 a.m. 5 o'clock every morning, I'm up and I'm
Oh,
doing what I've got to do.
so in the next days with Destiny, you're not going to sleep at all, right?
I feel like I don't sleep at all now.
Oh, boy, that's a lot. And what do you do at 5?
I wake up in the morning, and this I'm going to stop. I usually check my messages, which I'm going to stop that but I use my phone for meditation. So I wake up in the morning, I do some meditation. I either do Joe Dispenza or I do Master Co. Like this morning, I did Master Co. And that'll go for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending which meditation I'm doing. Then I'll journal, write down some gratitudes and journal what I want my day to look like. And then I'm sorry, this is after I drink a bottle of water. I drink a bottle of water. I do all that for an hour. Then I drink another bottle of water and I go out for a walk. And I walk about 4 miles, which is, I don't know, about 7 kilometers,
Right.
6.5, 7 kilometers.
That's a lot.
Yeah, in about an hour. And then I do my morning ritual, which is my gratitude spiral, Tony Robbins' Hour of Power, my gratitude spiral, my I am's, incantations. Because we all know that the two most important words spoken in any language, and again, I don't know, I'm assuming that Paola understands English because she seems like she's been following, and I don't know, maybe Gonzalo does as well, but we
Yeah.
can cover a lot
Gonzalo
of
actually
Spanish.
he came here to ask you some questions because he's been watching all these commitments you're doing.
Oh, great, great. Um, so um, the two most important words, because the most important conversation we'll have any day of our life is a conversation we have with ourselves. And the two most important words that we ever speak, two most important words we ever speak are I am, eu sou, yo soy.
Yo soy.
I am, because whatever follows, I am follows you. Because if you say I am strong, you can be strong. If you say I am weak, then you're weak. If you say I am love, I am love. If you say I am anger, I am anger. If you say I am commitment, I am strength, I am passion, I am faith, I am hope, then you're going to have a different conversation. You're going to have a different feeling, a different emotion attached to those words. But you've got to say with intensity. Yo soy amor. Yo soy coraje. Yo soy fuerza. Yo soy fe. Yo soy lo que quieres que sea. Pero tienes que ser compasión, que lo haces. No puedes decir, yo soy amor. Yo soy coraje. You can't, no puede ser así. Tiene que ser con fuerza. Tiene que ser con coraje, con pasión. Right? We have to say those things with passion and feel those emotions, not just say the words. Because if you just say the words, I am love, I am passion, I am strength, I'm courage, I'm hope, yeah, I'm faith. How convincing am I to you?
Nothing.
Right? That's why in Date with Destiny, when we're going through the part of the towards and away from values, and we challenge each other. No, tell me again. Tell me. The idea is I've got to sell you. You've got to believe that I believe it. You've got to believe that I believe it. The words that I'm saying. So when you're saying those words to yourself, it's important that you feel the emotion and not just say the words. So that's an important part. So I do my gratitude. I do my incantations. Now I am the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. I will create, not destroy. I am a force for good. I am a force for God. I am a leader. Defy the odds. Set a new standard. Step up. Step up. Step up. Now, the people that are in here are probably like, what the hell is this guy doing? And that's okay. That's okay. And then I go from there. I do my I am incantations. I do all I need is within me now, because all we need, my friends, is indeed within us now. And then the I am statements, I am strength, I am courage, whatever you long to hear from someone else. If you want to hear somebody to say, oh, Alcione, you're beautiful. Paola, you're beautiful. If you want to hear that from someone, you can say that to yourself. I am beautiful.
Right.
I am strong. I am love. Right? You can give yourself the words and that emotion that you want to get from someone, what you want to hear from someone else. You can say to yourself and empower yourself to be the best version of you. Because, my friends, we can be our own best friend or our own worst enemy, but it depends on you. So you've got to remember to be kind to other people. Even more important, to be kind to yourself and use words. Speak to yourself like you would speak to a little boy or a little girl, the way you would speak to your child. Matter of fact, a
Funny.
friend of mine, Rock, says, actually, I got a good one too. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to your dog. Of course, that's in the States and places like, oh, little cuddly dog. In some places, like in Portugal, they're like, hey, freaking dog. So, depending where you are, you don't want to speak to yourself,
Right.
you speak to your dog. But speak to yourself like you would speak to your child, that child's 2 years old or 3 years old. Speak to yourself with
Yeah.
love and with kindness and with hope, because that's what we need. But we can give ourselves that. So that's my morning routine, and I do my 4 mile walk, and then I do some visualization just to imagine how I want my day to go, and then I get on with my day. So that's what I encourage everyone to do, or a version thereof, because that'll change your life. It's a game changer.
Yeah. What do you have to say to people that lost trust when they were teenagers and they just don't think they can do anything? Is there a way that, is it also the fault of the schools or parents that you just start telling your son, you can't do that?
Yeah, it is, and they've just got to own it. Listen, I grew up. My father used to beat the shit out of me, excuse the expression, all the time, and my brother and my sister. We used to get beat up all the time, and I was told that I would never amount to shit. Excuse the expression. Sorry, I probably shouldn't be saying that on here, but I would never amount to anything. That I would only be good enough for people to wipe their feet on like a doormat. And I would never be anything. I was dumb. I was this. I was that. I was everything under the sun. So, but I can choose to either take that and wear it as a badge and say, this is me, this is true. I'm going to say bullshit. I'm my own man. I'm going to be and do and, whoever, and be whatever I want and work towards it, whatever I'm willing to put in the work towards. Right. Because listen, whatever happened in your past, whatever difficult childhood you had. I was literally having this conversation with someone just before I came on. And he says, oh, but my mother was a drug addict. My mother did this. My mother did that. My mother did the other thing. But this guy's super successful. But he hasn't forgiven his mother. And I told him, I said, listen, my friend, it's like this. You may not have gotten the mother you wanted. You may not have gotten the mother you longed for and the mother you deserved. But you got the mother you needed to make you the man you are today. Right? So what I would tell that 18-year-old that's struggling, that was told he never amount to anything, I tell him, hey, I understand, because I've been there. I was that guy. And I should have been a statistic, right? I should have been a statistic. But I made different choices, because the choice is yours to change your life at any time that you want. And it starts with making those micro commitments. It starts with kindness to yourself, kindness to others, right? When you start being kind to others, you start being kind to yourself, the world changes. The world changes. When you look at the world with with hope and with faith and with love, and knowing that there is love in the world, there is peace, there is hope, then that can change the game. Now, obviously, I understand that, in different countries, there's different battles to be had. It's harder in some places than it is in others. And you can still live a better life than you're living right now. Regardless of where you are right now, you can live a better life simply by making a decision to be happier, not changing anything else in your life, but just making the decision to be happier and focusing on what's good in your life. You can be happier right now, today, this very minute. you can decide to be happier.
And that doesn't have to do anything with this positive thinking, right? That people think that, oh yes, you just deny problems, but problems still are.
Well, no, you can't just deny problems, because when you deny that the problems are there, you can't close your eyes. You're not a child. You know, when you play hide and seek, I don't know how you say it in Spanish, so you'll have to help me.
Oculta, oculta.
Yeah. When you're playing hide and seek, a 2-year-old might go like this, oh, just sit there and cover their eyes, because if they can't see you, they think you can't see them. But we all know as adults and as we get older that that's not the case. So you can't close your eyes to a problem and think it's going to go away. It's not. Chances are it's going to get bigger, right? So you've got to face the reality, but you've got to look at things as they are, not worse than they are. Oh, it's the end of that's it. It's the end of the world. It's the end. It's the end. We were just talking, and I'm not going to get into politics. We were just talking about what's happening in the United States. There's people like, it's the end. It's not the end. It's not the end. It's going to be different. It's going to be uncomfortable. It might not be what you like, but it's not the end. It's just going to be different. We need to adjust, and we need to change the way we do things. We need to change the way we look at things, perhaps, but it's not the end. You've got to look at things as they are, not worse than they are. And you also can't look at things better than they are. You can't look at, a piece of crap and call it chocolate and think it's chocolate just because it's brown, right? You got to look at it for what it is. Otherwise, you're going to be very surprised when you take a bite, right? So you got to look at things as they are, not better than they are, but you also can't look at things worse than they are. It's the end of the world. No, it's not. It's just the end of an era. It's the end of an idea. It's the end of something, but it's not the end of the world. So it's just a change in mindset. It's a change in perception. It's a change in perspective. Because as we know, nothing has meaning except the meaning we give it, right? If I say something to you, as an example, I like to communicate with people verbally, preferably in person, because if you send somebody a text message, their emotion is going to determine how they're going to read that text message, right?
Yeah.
If you're in a good mood and I call you up and say, hey, listen, I'm going to be a little late, and you just got somewhere a little late, you're like, oh yeah, no big deal, I understand. But if every day that week somebody didn't show up or they were late and you were pissed off and whatever, and I say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, I'm going to be 3 minutes late. What? 3 minutes? What the hell's wrong?
Right.
It's the same thing, and that's one example, but sometimes just the communication is different, the way people are expressing themselves. So anyway, I'm talking a lot and I'm not asking enough questions, and I know you want to do some of this in Spanish. So
okay, so first let's Gonzalo, are you there? Okay, Gonzalo has a question for you.
Hi, Gonzalo.
You can unmute yourself.
Hold on, let me put my glasses on because I need these to see what everybody looks like.
Now you're going to get to see it. I don't know if Gonzalo's internet is working. Gonzalo, are you there?
Unmuted.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for all your thoughts, and also these words of encouragement. I think that's something that I want to ask you on these 366 days that you were doing some videos and sending some wisdom. And I think you answered that my question already, saying that if you want, you need to trust yourself. You want to commit to something, and then demonstrate that on your speech, on your communication, on what you are actually saying. And I think that's really something that I wanted to ask, because I also sometimes get in the middle of that, like saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do that, but then it's kind of like a mellow. It's not completely 100% committed. So then I think that's what we need to, I would say, focus ourselves, and that will move us and make it to the next day and the next and things like that. Thank you.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing you say is that it's difficult to do things when it's difficult to do things, right?
Correct.
So here's the thing. And I love that you said that, because I was thinking I was going to say that anyway, and you actually gave me a great segue into it. There were days that I didn't want to do the video. There were days, as a matter of fact, I missed, I think 3 days or 4 days, and I didn't miss it. But I travel a lot, and my wife doesn't like me letting people know that I'm traveling on the day that I'm traveling. So on 3 different occasions, I was at an airport, and I was trying to find a quiet space to do the video, and I couldn't find it. So I didn't do the video, and I did 2 of them the next day, because I just couldn't, I just couldn't do it because I was traveling. But I'll say this, there were plenty of days that I did not want to do the videos. There were plenty of days that I was tired. There were plenty of days that I was sick, that I didn't feel well, that I just didn't want to do it. Or there's plenty of days that I did, listen, during Date with Destiny, I was doing the videos for the day at 3:00 in the morning the next day. But I would say, hey, in California, it's still midnight, so it counts. But so, and I was tired. It was 3:30 in the morning. I'm doing a video before going to bed. I have to be up in 4 hours. Here's the thing. It's not always easy it's easy to do things when it's convenient. It's easy to do things when you feel like it. It's easy to do things when it's easy to do things, right? It's not so easy to do them when you don't feel like doing them, or you feel like crap, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It brings me back to a quote that I love from Muhammad Ali. He says, when I'm working out, I only start counting when the push-ups start to hurt, because those are the ones that count. The easy push-ups, the easy lifts are easy. It's easy to stand up for something when it's easy to stand up for something. It's easy to stand up to a bully when he's by himself and you're half a meter taller than him. It's not so easy when he's a meter taller than you, or he's with 4 or 5 people. Of course, it might not be the smart thing to do either. But what I'm saying is, it's not always easy to do the right thing. It's easy to do it when it's easy to do it, but it really counts. And what's going to build that muscle is when you do things when you don't feel like doing them, when those push-ups start to hurt, when you're on the walk and it starts to rain, or when you're jogging and your stomach is hurting you, your legs are hurting you, and you don't want to go anymore, and you push through. That's where your growth lies. Your growth lies when life starts to get uncomfortable. That's when you start to grow. I'm going to share something else with you guys that I actually just thought about 2 days ago when I woke up in the morning, and I shared it today in a group, that life is like playing a video game. Life is like a game. So I don't know if you have kids, Gonzalo. No. We all know what a video game is and what playing a game is, and playing any game. Game of business, game of life, whatever it is, or a physical game. But we're going to talk about a game, or a card game, or chess. If you're playing chess or checkers against somebody, whatever game you like. There's some people, do you know how to play chess, Gonzalo? Okay. So there's some people that are masters at chess. They're like so good. They look at a chessboard, you just turn their back, okay, knight to queen 4, king, right? They're crazy. Not crazy, but crazy good, like in a good way. But when you first learn how to play chess, you get beat all the time because you don't know how to play the game. You don't know the rules of the game. But I'm not even going to use it. I'm going to use a video game because I think everybody understands a video game. So, and think about it as a child. A 5-year-old boy, 8-year-old boy grabs a game and he goes to play, and he's losing all the time, losing, but he gets a little better and a little better. And now he starts to get a little better. And then just when he thought he was good, this big boss, big monster comes, and he's got to fight that boss and fight that monster to get to the next level, right? And he fights him for 2 days, all day and night. And, and finally he beats him because he figures out the patterns of what's happening and how he's going to go, how he's got to duck, when he's got to jump and everything else. Then he goes to the next level, and the next level is harder, but now he can handle it because he's already been through the first level. And just when it's getting better again, this big boss comes and he fights the boss, and it takes another 2-3 days. And finally he beats the boss, and he goes to the next level, and he's a little better. And now the first boss comes during that game, and he beats him, no problem. And he keeps going, but then there's another boss and another, and it just keeps going. And life, my friends, is the same way. Life gives you these challenges. And many people get stuck in that challenge. They get stuck in that pain and they don't grow through what they go through. They just get stuck and they keep going. They never make it past that boss battle because they don't want to fight the boss. Like, no, I'm just going to stay here and play on this level because I don't want to fight the big boss. I know there's more on the other side, but I don't want to fight. I already lost 2, 3 times to him. I'm just going to stay on this level. And so some people, there's a saying in the United States that says some people die at 25. I'm sorry, die at 25, but only get buried at 75 because they live the same year over and over and over again, because they choose to stay on that same level and they're not prepared to do what it takes to get to the next level. And life puts forward these challenges. They're designed and meant to make you grow. And maybe it's God or the universe testing you to see if you really want what it is you say you want. But in order for you to get what it is you say you want, you've got to pass the test. You've got to go through that boss battle. You've got to do the uncomfortable actions. You've got to do the things that are hard in order to get to the next level. In order to get to the next level, that's going to take to the next level. It's going to take to the next level. And that's what the challenges or problems that come into our lives are. And when we can change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. That's one of my favorite quotes by Wayne Dyer. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And when you can look at the problems that we have in life as challenges to be overcome and know that those things are there to really strengthen us so that we can get to the next level. And I understand completely, by the way, that some things are like, what the hell did that car accident have to do with that? I broke both my legs, or I lost a leg, or I was raped, or I was shot, or I was robbed. How the hell does that have anything to do with my life and where I'm going? And if you're going through these things, anyone who's watching, I'm sorry, and it sucks. But sometimes we've got to go through things so that we can learn and appreciate and understand. I've gone through things in my life that, because I've gone through those things, it makes me more compassionate, and I'm able to help more people and share my story and be able to help people go through things because I've gone through a lot of things. I understand what it's like to be beaten as a child, told that you're never going to amount to anything, that how many times have I been told that I'm not going to be able to succeed at this or that? And I'm like, yeah, okay, good. Keep telling me that. Right? How many times do people bet against me? How many times have I been betrayed? How many times have people stolen from me? How many times have people taken advantage of my kindness? But I win when I choose not to let that bring me down. I win when I choose to continue to love people despite the fact that I've been hurt. Now, I don't love the same people, because you can't look for love. You can't look for love in the same place you lost it. Right? You can't go, and a lot of people tend to do that because they go back to that comfort level. That's where what they know, where they're comfortable. But that's not right. You can't find love in the same place you lost it. You can't find happiness in the same place you lost it. You got to go find it somewhere else with someone else. And that's a difficult thing to do. But listen, you can look around. How many people have been hurt, have had a bad relationship? Then they're like, oh no, he's changed, she's changed. They go back and 2 years later, it's the same crap. Rarely it does work, rarely, but that's rarely. So I'd rather not place that bet. If I already know that I go this way, I'm going to get hurt, I'm going to go that way. Because there's plenty of other opportunities, there's plenty of other people. And the fact is, if you stay angry and bitter with what happens in life, that problem, that challenge, that person, that situation wins. And I'm a bad quitter. And that's what I hope everyone is a bad quitter. And just keep pushing forward, keep moving forward.
Tony, what was the reason behind live streaming and all this challenge? What did you learn?
Okay, so I lost half of that, but I'm assuming, I think you're asking me, why did I do the 366 day challenge and what did I learn? Is that what you're asking?
Right.
Okay, because you're
That's
lagging.
what I was asking.
You're lagging really bad. Okay, so it's funny, actually. there's a lot of people that always say, oh, 5-day challenge, 7-day challenge. And I'm like, that's cute. But you know what? Here's what I'm going to do to challenge myself to see if I could do it, to see if I can step up to the next level of who I needed to be. And that's the idea. We need to keep challenging ourselves, because to do 30-day challenge, yeah, I've done it. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that, but to do 366 days, by the way, it was 366 days because last year was leap year and it had 366 days. Otherwise it'd be 365, right? So what I learned is that, again, I built my self-confidence because I honored the commitment. And the next day I didn't beat myself up on the day that I missed it. And I just did 2 that day. And I just made up for it. And I owned it. I came up and said, hey, today, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do it this morning. I'm going to do another at night. Or, hey, I owe you one because I missed it yesterday because of this or that. I didn't really always give the reason because, like I said, if I'm traveling, I don't, there's a reason that I would have missed those. But I learned to just trust myself, right? I learned to trust myself because many times, even today, I mean, I knew I was going to come on here. We were going to talk a little bit about building self-confidence, but I don't have a script. I don't have anything written down. I have this in case I was going to take some notes from any questions that were asked, but I'm all unscripted because I speak from the heart. I speak from my own life experiences. And what that 366-day challenge did for me is it gave me that comfort level of knowing that I can do it. And if you watch the videos, some of them, you can tell that some of them I'm just kind of speaking, and others, it's just coming out of me, right? Because I tap into something and it just flows. Because I tend not to talk about anything that I don't really understand, or I haven't experienced, or that I don't have an experience with. And that's what I encourage everyone. If you're going to go out and start doing videos and talking and this and that, speak about things that are close to your heart, that you understand, that you know, and not about something you don't. Don't be pretentious. Don't be someone you're not. Be the true you, be the person that you really are, because people appreciate that authenticity, that rawness, those mistakes, those health. There were times that my dog pulls me and I'm like, almost jerking off the screen. Like this morning it happened, because even though I didn't say I committed to doing 366 days or 65 days this year, I've been doing a video every day anyway. So I'm on day 7 again now anyway. At some point, maybe I'll announce that I'm doing 365 again. But people probably got tired of, day 3 of 366, day 17 of 366, seeing that all every day, like, oh, hurry up and finish that already. So I didn't commit to doing that in that way, but I've committed because, again, it became, what I say is, the ritual becomes a habit, and the habit gets ingrained into who you are. Now I'm like, oh, I got to do my video. I'm like, actually, I don't, but well, I'm going to do it anyway. So what I learned really is about just trusting myself, and I have more confidence now than I did even a year ago. That somebody asks me a question and I can answer it. What did we talk about when we got started? He said, I don't know. What do you want to talk? I said, just go. We'll just go. Whatever people ask, whatever you ask, I'm fine with. The only thing is we're not going to be able to get to do Spanish but I can answer some questions in Spanish for anyone.
No, we can do that. What if we just say goodbye to your English audience and then we start Spanish, because there are people waiting
yes,
for
we
you.
can do that. But again,
my
son's class probably is going to end in 5 or 10 minutes. So I've probably got 15 minutes. I don't have much more than 15 minutes. Because they're going to close.
Okay, so let's do it
close this place down.
Yeah.
Oh, but yes. Okay, so anyway, for everyone who's watching in English, thank you for watching, even though I threw a little bit of Spanish in there anyway. I appreciate you. And the way I like to end all my videos, and I'm going to say this now in English, is that I just want everyone to remember that life is not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get up, because if you fall down 7 times, just get up 8. It's about getting up one more time than you fall. It doesn't matter how many times you failed. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you make, because the past was a bruise. It was not a tattoo. You don't have to wear that mistake. You don't have to wear that thing that you went through. And just know that every time you fall is an opportunity to learn. And every time you get up is an opportunity to grow. And every single time you fall, my friends, you have an opportunity to get up and grow.